They say a woman's body keeps the score. But what happens when a single moment of surrender rewires a man's soul? What happens when you give a man something so powerful, so deeply vulnerable, that he stops seeing you as a person and starts worshipping you like a religion? I learned the hard way that some doors once opened can never be closed again. This is the story of how I lost control for 5 minutes and spent the next year trying to escape my own boyfriend. Chloe, that's me. 6 months back, everything about love felt clear. Then things shifted without warning. Above a laundry shop on Elm Street in Manchester sat my little apartment. Think thin windows, heaters banging through the dark hours, moisture in the air from drier vents below. Quiet mornings there carried traces of sweet-smelling detergent rising up. Not grand by any measure, yet I called it home. Liam, my boyfriend, caught everyone's attention in the northern quarter. Standing tall and speaking little, his dark eyes seemed full of stories older than memory. Coaching kids football in Salford was how he spent his days. Those children followed him like shadows. Even elderly neighbors would wave from their porches when he passed by. Each Sunday morning, T appeared beside me before I even opened my eyes. Dates mattered to him, ours always stayed marked. Here's what stood out about Liam. Tension lived in him, always coiled tight, as if every moment demanded he stay still. 2 years passed while we stayed close. Kindness came easily to him, soft moments too. Yet something remained out of reach, like a drawer inside him that never opened no matter how hard I tried. Still holding on even when things got loud. Even in silence, his grip stayed tight. Especially where bodies met, release wasn't something he allowed. I thought that was just his way. I told myself, Chloe, stop being dramatic. Not every man is a movie character. That Tuesday, rain falling hard, things shifted without warning. On that Tuesday, Liam walked in after coaching like a man who'd lost something heavy. His jacket landed on the chair, not hung, just dropped, which wasn't his way. I caught sight of him, but his eyes stayed away from mine. Had a tough one? I said. The boys lost 5-0, he muttered. I can't get through to them. I can't get through to anyone. That's when I noticed it. A flaw in his guard. Not merely exhaustion. Doubt had begun to eat at him. That night, halfway through a storm, we sat slumped on the lumpy grey couch, one of those cheap ones that droop where you sit. Rain cracked hard against the glass pane outside. Reaching him felt impossible, though I kept trying anyway. Breaking through would have taken everything I had. That day, it wasn't like past times. A different kind of start came from me, not the old pattern. This time, my move surprised even me. His chin tilted up to meet my gaze. A soft breath carried the words, "Give it a go." That night came back to me, scrolling dumb stuff way past midnight. A throwaway line about crafting your drip. Felt silly even then. When you're backed into corners, though, weird ideas start making sense. Leaning closer, my body slowed down. Not touching him, hands staying put. Rushing was off the table. Instead, air moved through me, carrying pieces of him. Rain stuck to skin, a hint of bargain store deodorant. Blades crushed under cleats earlier that day. A low sound escaped near his throat. Only one. A stillness took hold of him. After a breath, a spark lit up within his gaze. Something like wonder. Back on the couch, I shifted his body toward me. His shirt rose just enough to see skin. My lips touched his neck, gentle then firmer. A broken breath slipped out of him. That barrier inside began to crack. Not allowed to touch right now, I murmured under my breath. Heavy silence filled the space, slow and sticky as molasses. Control had shifted, just now it rested elsewhere. My direction guided his steps, not the usual way around. 20 minutes passed without clear shape. Not gears or levers mattered. Pulse did. Move ahead, then back, spinning, like water dragging two bodies offshore. Upward I pushed, each angle reaching, hunting through the quiet spaces between his breaths. Then there it was. A stillness took hold, right in the center of him. It wasn't hurt, just a sudden hush. His muscles locked, not from agony but wonder. Like breath caught midair. Right there, he gasped. Don't stop. Please, Chloe. Don't stop. Sound cracked when he said please. Not someone who'd ever asked for help before. Steady beat stayed under my hands. Spinning motion never broke. Rain built up loud beyond the glass. Walls trembled as if touched by weight. A hush lived inside each drop. Out of nowhere it occurred. Heavy silence filled the space, slow and sticky as molasses. Control had shifted, just now it rested elsewhere. My direction guided his steps, not the usual way around. 20 minutes passed without clear shape. Not gears or levers mattered. Pulse did. Move ahead, then back, spinning, like water dragging two bodies offshore. Upward I pushed, each angle reaching, hunting through the quiet spaces between his breaths. Then there it was. A stillness took hold, right in the center of him. It wasn't hurt, just a sudden hush. His muscles locked, not from agony but wonder. Like breath caught midair. Right there, he gasped. Don't stop. Please, Chloe. Don't stop. Sound cracked when he said please. not someone who'd ever asked for help before. Steady beat stayed under my hands. Spinning motion never broke. Rain built up loud beyond the glass. Walls trembled as if touched by weight. A hush lived inside each drop. Out of nowhere it occurred. It wasn't reaction. It was collapse. Heat poured out of him. Every muscle jerked, fired by something deep in his back. That jolt tore up into arms, legs, fingers. Sight vanished, white behind the lids. 5 seconds passed like that, Liam unmade. The calm one, the silent one, the steady hand, all erased. Floating somewhere beyond reach. Slumped by the couch, gasping as if miles behind him. Back then I didn't know, but his oxytocin surely jumped. My grin spread wide, feeling good about what I'd done. Everything all right? His gaze shifted sideways. Not thankfulness there, just something colder behind the stare. It was obsession. That morning light slipped through the blinds while Liam stood there, fully clothed. His eyes stayed on me as I opened mine, still lying down. Silence filled the room before I finally moved. Morning came out while I rubbed my eyes. Now you belong to me, Chloe, he told her. Softly spoken, as if stating something already true. I laughed nervously. I was already yours, weirdo. Quiet fell between us. A slow nod came before he walked out the door toward his job. That moment slipped away. Come Saturday, everything felt different. That's when he began watching my location. My question about it made him say he only wanted me safe. Knowing where I was mattered for that. That scent arrived in a shiny box. Same label she favored, the one he said made him cringe. Questions slipped out. His jaw tightened. Not you, he said. This is different. It sticks to your skin. Belongs here now, then came the texts. Every hour. What are you doing? Who are you with? Send a photo. Outside the cafe in Didsbury, he'd sit parked, hands tight on the wheel, skin drained of colour, whenever I came back even a little behind schedule from work. That evening, while we sat sipping cocktails under the dim lights of the Dukes, I shared everything with Maya, my closest friend. She listened quietly, stirring her drink as the words spilled out between us. He's suffocating me, I said. Maya stirred her cocktail. You finally gave him a taste of something he never had before, Chloe. You made him feel a loss of control. And now he's terrified of losing you. That's not love. That's a hostage situation. That moment shook me. Yet it was real once darkness fell. Thursday came around. Not in Liverpool at that coach thing Liam would have been. On my own, air felt easier now. Breathing changed when he wasn't near. Out of nowhere, I started wiping down the apartment. Not for anyone else, just so things wouldn't feel quite so off. Beneath where we slept, tucked under our shared bedding, sat a metal box. Not big. Black. Meant to survive flames. Something he kept hidden. Never once did he mention its existence. The numbers came from a date he knew well. Finding nothing took longer than expected. Cash had vanished along with the documents meant for travel. Pictures showed up, more than you could count. None had my face in them. A woman stood there, her face just like mine. Hair the same shade, not different at all. Her grin spread in a way I'd seen in my mirror. Tiny dots of pigment dusted her nose, familiar as old memories. On the back of one photo, written in Liam's handwriting, Sarah, day before she left. I will never let go again. Beneath the pictures sat a court paper meant to keep someone away. It came from a woman called Sarah Mitchell. This was written down 3 years back. Fear hit hard, like a wave freezing every vein. The sound of the front door came through first. A crack of light appeared across the hallway floor. Chloe? Liam's voice cheerful. I got held up. The conference was boring. The box felt heavy in my hands as I stepped into the living room. A quiet voice asked suddenly, "Who is Sarah?" Nothing moved. Not a breath could be found inside those walls. His expression shifted, yet stayed still somehow. Anger never showed up. Instead came quiet. A strange kind of peace took over his features. Stillness sat too heavy on him. He shut the door behind him, turned the lock. So you made it here, he said. The archive stood just where it always had. I was wondering when you would, he continued, walking toward me slowly. You see, Sarah, she gave me what you gave me on that rainy night. The trance, the release, and then she tried to leave. Back away, Liam, I whispered, teeth chattering. Then silence fell between us like snow. I didn't hurt her, he said, tilting his head. Not physically. But I made sure she couldn't feel pleasure with anyone else. I called her new job. I told her landlord she was dealing drugs. I burned her life to the ground so she'd have to come back to me. He stopped 2 feet away. She still calls me sometimes, crying, begging me to stop. But you, Chloe, you're better than her. You unlocked the floodgates on purpose. He smiled. Maybe. But you're the one who made me this way. And I'm never letting you go. That police paperwork? Not going into it. 3 weeks holed up at Maya's cousin's place near the sea. Won't mention the tires, sliced open like fruit. Or how the phone kept buzzing. Message after message, long past midnight. What matters is the ending. Back on Elm Street, finally, alongside 2 cops. There sat Liam, still on that faded grey sofa from Argos, eyes locked on the wall. No struggle, just a slow turn toward me, then his voice. It's okay. I'll wait. You always come back. They always do. He got picked up on charges tied to following someone and breaking an old court rule. Funny thing is, Sarah came way down the list. Way after another name people forgot about. One after another, 2 women came before. A fresh place to stay appeared somehow. Even got myself another number along the way. Even now, sleeping in darkness feels impossible. Lights must stay on always. What scares me most is not thinking Liam turned into something evil. It hits harder knowing I noticed it first, the silence building up like weather. How he'd shut down without sound. The grip tightening slowly, quietly. Breathing stopped on purpose, just hanging there. Yet deep down something shifted. Just for those moments, I let go of their words. Power filled me, brief but real. It's often claimed that knowing things gives you strength. Yet certain truths, such as the way to trigger a man's most hidden fixation, can feel more like a burden than a gift. Something made Liam ill, though it wasn't me. Still, I gave him the way out of my locked place. Hold on a second. Think first. Before tearing down another person's barriers, pause. What waits just beyond them? Once you give them a taste of that trance, everything else turns to ash while they chase it back. Other times, it's your hand that carries the flame.